It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of equality. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We were all going direct to heaven, we were all going direct the other way.
This work of fiction is set in France and Britain during the French Revolution, where hunger and desperation run rampant. The poor outnumber the rich 1,000-to-1, yet they were treated as animals.
The central conflict in A Tale of Two Cities is a struggle between the poor and the rich. And although this conflict is present throughout the story, the conflict was resolved when moments before his death, Carton realized that France was going to survive the revolution and bloom as a beautiful nation. Learn the story of Sidney Carton, a selfless, misunderstood drunk, given a chance to make a difference. Charles Darnay, a bold French aristocrat mistreated for his heritage, who falls in love with a beautiful English woman. And Lucy Manette, a young English woman whose life is entangled with Charles and Carton's lives. When the president said that the good physician of the Republic would deserve better still of the Republic by rooting out an obnoxious family of aristocrats, and would doubtless feel a sacred glow and joy in making his daughter a widow and her child an orphan, there was wild excitement, patriotic fervor, not a touch of human sympathy. Much influence around him has that doctor, murmured Madame Defarge, smiling to the vengeance. Save him now, my doctor, save him. At every juryman's vote there was a roar, and another, roar and roar, and unanimously voted, at heart and by descent, an aristocrat, an enemy of the Republic, a notorious oppressor of the people, back to the concierge, and death within 24 hours.
This quote is significant because it shows that misled passion in a cause can get rid of some of the most defining human traits. This is shown at an extreme where hate against a certain group of people leads to a widespread execution without mercy or regret.
It is a far, far better thing that I do that I've ever done. It is a far, far better rest that I go that I've ever known.
This quote is said by Sidney Carton at the end of the book. He says this before he dies for Lucy. This is significant because he replaces Charles Darnay with himself in the cell where he will be killed. Carton loved Lucy, but Lucy loves Darnay, so Carton makes the ultimate sacrifice to love. He gave his life for Lucy's happiness. His act of love was unparalleled by anyone or anything.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of equality. It was the season of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We were all going direct to heaven, we were all going direct the other way.
This quote is significant because it introduces the setting and the plot. It explains how the general people are hungry and desperate in these dire times. The French Revolution has caused many people to immigrate to Britain, and the rich do little to help the poor. This quote perks the reader's attention and makes him or her want to read more.